China is to be portrayed as a high-tech, space-age, innovative powerhouse with a booming economy, powerful military, and futuristic cities.
No, you haven't gone to the wrong channel. This is the James N. Cooper Show. A very warm welcome. Today is actually Chinese New Year, or the correct term is the Lunar New Year. And what I just showed you there is a really great guy, which I highly recommend for you to watch to get a better idea of what's happening in China. Now, let me explain. When you watch news from China, you could say it's always positive, how good the military are. Look at the infrastructure, look at the train, look at the subway system, look at the food. And yeah, granted, it has improved a lot since, you could say, in the last 20 or something years. It's been a slower improvement ever since Xi Jinping took power, but it has improved a lot from the days of Mao Zedong. Well done, congratulations. Yes, 800 million people since the 1980s, not since Xi took over, since the 1980s, have got out of basic poverty. But I think the poverty rate is $2.30 or something like that. So if you earn that over that per day, congratulations, you are not poor. But I'm going to send you a couple of links in the description. So please do watch, and you can understand more of China through Serpantza. Serpantza, Winston, his name is, from South Africa, went to China years ago and stayed there, like say, for 12 years. Now he went to the United States, where he can actually present what's happening in China without having any fears or repercussion of what the Chinese government may do. And like him, like his business partner Laowai86, like the China Show, like my friend Mr. Lewis in England, we sort of portray the bad. Why do we do that, you may say? Because China doesn't do it. Now, in America, there's all types of news. There could be how ridiculous Biden is, and he's too old. An earthquake which happened, a train which crashed, and they will give you the actual they will give you the negative news related to that. It's objective. News is what happened. But in China, the CCP control the media, and it's always positive. How wonderful this city is. Ooh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, well done. How great the military is, the strongest in the world. Okay, fantastic, great, well done. How the GDP has increased. Okay, great, well done. And some people here will show exactly, we call them CCP shills, basically. And one here is Jerry Gray, with Jerry's take on China, an English guy who lived in Australia and was a policeman, security guard, and got married to a Chinese girl living somewhere in Guangdong province. Another one is a former drag queen from New Zealand, I do believe, Andy Boehm. He does reports on China, and basically he will do the negative thing about America. We have another young guy from England. This is Jason Lighthouse. He's a little bit of a twit and an idiot, and he just always says, China great, America bad. But I don't think he's ever stepped foot in China. And this is one thing that they constantly do, is say, well, you're not here. Well, you're not in America, so why are you doing it? So it's a double negative, so to speak. The last one is another South African guy called, I've forgotten his name, Jerry Good. He lives in Shandong province, and he constantly criticizes how wonderful China is. And yes, wonderful China is, but you don't show any negative stuff. You don't show the whole news. We want to see everything, not how wonderful Xi Jinping's arse is today and how deep are you going to clean it so it can look even shinier. No, you just wouldn't even go there. So when professional analysts from all around the world, even from the country of Taiwan and hopefully one day the country of Hong Kong, for example, would say that the China economy is bad, these guys that I just shown you would all defend it. And they're very good with manipulating words and saying everything is fine, everything is fantastic. Okay, great. But then why would people resort to horrible things just to earn some money? And basically, Serpantza went through the collapse of China, and to see the effect of it, that people may have lost their job, they need money, there's no real social services there that you can get unemployment benefit, and they have to resort to something that they really don't want to do. Then Xi Jinping would announce absolute poverty. We've done this countless times. And then these people, these shills, would actually just deny it and show this magnificent city, or go on with their video cameras, say, oh, look, there's no homeless people here. There's lots of other people who do it well. But you would say these are the king of the shills, basically, and they've been around for years there. But from real people in real China who make some effort to get their videos out of the Chinese Communist Party, China, basically, and get them onto the Western social media like X, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, then we can actually see the other side. This is how China news needs to improve. Basically, say everything which is happening, keep the people informed. You don't keep the people informed. Some people would say it's some kind of brainwashing in a way. Only the good things would be seen in the news. If you go to Global Times or Xinhua News or China Daily, etc., newspapers, online newspapers, you can go to them easily on your internet. You will only see the positive things. You would see negative things about other countries, but you would very rarely actually get any negative about the government or what's been happening with poverty. So much of the time you would get these shills who would go on a trip and they would show there's no poverty, absolute poverty, and they would show just a downtown Shanghai. You could say the same if you went to, I don't know, London or Bangkok, or it's modern, it's high-tech, etc. You're not going to find the homeless people there. They would be somewhere else, but they do exist in that form. They can't actually say anything about the bad things, because if you do, basically, well, they're using an illegal VPN for a start, and if they did, well, they would be basically asked to leave the country or deported one way or the other, because they're putting China in a bad light. This is the thing. As Winston said in his video, do please watch the whole video. It's very, very interesting, and do watch his channel as well. Subscribe to it, that'd be great. This is the other thing that he mentioned, which now I've completely forgot. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I'll be back in a second. I remember now, wouldn't it be weird if the Washington Post or BBC or Al Jazeera or NBC or ABC news outlets didn't report all of the news which is happening related to the politics, the good and the bad things, what's happening with the environment, the good and the bad things, what's happening with the drug problem in America, the good and the bad things. Don't deny China doesn't have any problems. It's not utopia. It's a big country with 1.4 billion people, and they like to sweep things under the carpet. So we don't get to see it. But it comes harder for the government, the Chinese government, to hide this, because most people have a phone. On the back of it, they have a camera. They can film. They can have a VPN, and they can post this to Twitter. And it's people like you and I who may browse, and then we find something interesting, we try and post it and tell you. So yeah, what we're doing is the complete part of China, where China media is putting in all the positive things, maybe some porky pies, a little lies in there as well. But what Winston, Lao Y 86, Free China, China Unscripted, China Uncensored, all these things like this, Spotlight on China, China Observer, they have to do the negative because it's not shown on Chinese regular media. Now, if they did, then we are all out of a job, basically. Well, YouTube for me, as you know, is a hobby, and any income that does come through, well, thank you very much, but basically it goes to feed my 2 little kitty cats, which I'm sure a lot of my subscribers and viewers would know about. So do leave your comments in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I absolutely nutty? Do you believe in the people in China who you would say there's no evidence related to that get paid by the CCP to promote it in a positive way? And if they weren't paid, you could say, well, what's the point? Yeah? What is the point of it? Would you do something just because you see it in a different light? No, obviously one way or the other, maybe through PayPal, maybe through WeChat, maybe through Alipay, that they get some kind of like money sent through from 10 different various sources. It's so easy to do in China in that way. You can hide your money quite easily if it's in the country. Getting it out of the country is possible, but there are ways. But that's another story for another time. I'm going to leave it there, and I wish that Winston does carry on his work, and I hope that he gets up to 2, 3, 4, 5 million viewers in the next couple of years. I do hope his videos do constantly hit 1 million, because he's getting the word out there. There's like 8 billion people in the world, and with that, it's a very small percentage that is broadcast that people would actually see. But every media outlet has to start somewhere, and as even some of the independent journalists that I don't actually really like, because they just criticize the wrong thing, and it's like they would support Iraq, they seem to love Saddam Hussein, is, well, everyone has a choice, but they really believe in it, and it's more like conspiracy theorists, and they would only actually put people on their show who are with them. They would never put anyone against. They did once in China with a guy called Reportify Media, and they just bullied him to death. It was embarrassing, and then they laughed about it afterwards like a bully would at school. Okay, I'm definitely talk too much. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Winston. Sorry I stole your videos. Please forgive me, but I just wanted to promote what's happening and how you are one of the best at doing this job related to it, and the way that you put it all together in a way that everyone understands and makes it simple, rather than these guys who make it incredibly complicated by manipulating maybe the truth, if you get it. So thumbs up, Winston. Thumbs up to everyone who gives the true side of China. China is not a bad place, don't get me wrong in that way, but when you report the news, it should be 360. What China does is more like 90 degrees. You get my drift. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.